This is Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to the Voice for Fitness Professionals podcast, where this is almost the end of a streak. I've been streaking. And yes, I'm a child of the 70s, so that means something very different for me than it might to you. But here's my question. Because we have today and tomorrow left in this 30-day streak, and actually, I believe I'm doing extra credit. Tomorrow will be 31. And I'm sharing marketing and sales strategies, ways that you can create unique branding, get your message across and get it across clear as opposed to confusing so that you can create a business and a life you love, even now in COVID during this pandemic. But today I'm spending time going back to basics. So here you go. Are you spending your time right now? Let's talk hierarchy of needs. Spending your time wisely right now is more important than ever. I'm a big believer that first, you have to guard your personal workout time. We all know part of the reason we got into this, to fitness, to health coaching, to wherever you dabble, is because we're passionate about it. But there's going to be more behind that. I've got another question for you, by the way, tomorrow. And also, if you're still doing the fitness plan that you'd been doing in February of 2020 and you're experiencing any additional stress from the pandemic, you're doing yourself a disservice. So you're depleting your immune system. So think about the combination of both and lead others by leading yourself. So enough on that. Let's talk about spending your time right now in terms of your business. Come back with me right now to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Let's review it. You learned it in Psych 101 and probably again, if you took one, in your health class. I know I taught it in my health class. At the bottom of the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is safety and security. If you don't get that right, you cannot rise above. You got to have the basement, the foundation, before you can get to the penthouse. In January of 2020, you may have been focused on the top of the pyramid, or at least one of the other two between the bottom and the top, already climbing up, getting the love, right? But right now, you drop back down, as many of us have, to needing some secure financial situation and reducing our expenses. So what activities are you spending your time doing right now? Because it may feel quite foreign. You've been doing something potentially for a lot longer than just a few months. And you've been focused on what is your legacy going to be? What is unique about you? Changing things like your colors, your branding, and your website right now that you cannot get lost in. Be sure that the way you spend your time right now reflects where you are right now. You've got to drop activities like influencer posts and social media and detailed SEO work on your website or trying to reach indirect lead generation sources. You do want to be spending time figuring out how to make a sale today. You've got to take direct responsibility for asking for business today. So book consultations and ask for the sale. Make phone calls to follow up on interested prospects or to get those people who are due to renew today. We don't have the luxury of waiting right now. Send reminders for failed payments. Better yet, get on the phone and call them up. Just assume, hey, I'm pretty sure this is probably just we need to update your credit card. Here's how you can do it. You can give it to me right here over the phone, or you can log in right here and do that yourself. Let me know which one works better for you. Assume implied consent, that they didn't shut it off, that there is no money there. Assume they've got the money and they want to continue, but credit cards, it happens all the time. Happens to you and me too, right? So benefit of the doubt. Proceed with that first. Another activity, you're going to craft and send high converting emails. All right, there's a lot. There's a mouthful there. So first of all, you've got to write it. You've got to craft it. Sit down and spend time. You should not be sending emails out just random, like, oh, time to send an email out. It's end of the month. We're low. That's like having a sale last few days. It's a terrible feeling. Trains your people to wait till you reduce the value and the cost of working with you. Craft and send a high converting email. If you don't know what a high converting email is, you probably haven't been watching your statistics. That's sending one message meant and intended for a single customer and sending it only to customer avatars that are exactly like that. You don't send something about a class on osteoporosis or aging actively to males in their 20s in college. So be smart about what you're doing with your email right now. You cannot afford not to be. Increase your direct leads, the number of direct leads. What is that? Well, what do you have right now on your website that invites opt-ins? Are you sharing that page over and over and over? You need a place for people to have to opt in, give you their email. They're now on your list, and you should look at every email that they're going to get in automation and or that you're going to tag them for and broadcast to so that you can create an opportunity for a sale. And then enhance your customer experience. So you got to pay attention to those people who did buy and increase their value. Your customers all probably have some kind of an average customer value. And let me rephrase that. They do have an average customer value. You may not know it. If you don't know it, make it your business to know it right now. Every single customer that you get, what's the average value that they have for you? So look at the average value after a year or 2 years. So my business has been using the same CRM, customer management system, for 4.5 years. So I can keep records that far back because in that system, I've been tracking it. So I know of all the customers I've ever had, what's their average value? So whether that's $150 for you, whether that's $1,000 for you, look at what that is. That'll tell you what it is that you potentially might be able to upsell. Can you, in your business where it's a brick and mortar, offer them locker service? Can you offer them towel service? Can you offer them something else that would increase their value to you? Can you offer them personal training if they're only currently a member? Can you offer them a different kind of personal training, adding coaching in between, as well as the face-to-face that you do? Lots of things for you to think about there. But in order to get out of this safety and security mode so that we can again begin to elevate, feel a little bit more comfortable about where we are, you have to focus on these things today. At the end of a day, I love this. A friend's husband said casually at dinner one day as we were talking about our businesses that he knew easily how his business was doing based on one simple thing. He said, if I have more money at the end of the day than I had at the beginning of the day. That's something for you to remember. How much money do you have right now? And tonight, how much money do you have then? Look at it. What expenses have you had? Were they musts? You had to have them for operational fees? Can you reduce anything? And what revenue did you drive? You're responsible. Take responsibility for it. I'll put links in the show notes to a couple of things that I've talked about in terms of what you should do right now, say no to, what you should say yes to. I have 2 recent podcasts in this July streak that you should probably listen to if this resonates with you. Remember where you are right in this moment, and you're not there forever, but you can't get out of it by jumping ahead back to this place of influence and legacy. So if you're just thinking constantly about putting pretty posts or what picture you're going to post on Instagram today, that may need to drop down on your priority list and put it behind calling up 3 to 5 people and asking for the sale. What are you waiting for? The world needs you now more than ever.